we call this Founders Raw for a reason. So let's go back in time and think about some of the toughest times that you've had. And what I want to do is take the layers off and figure out how you got through that. So yeah, name like something that pops out that's like, man, that was a difficult experience.
Yeah, I mean, we're living, through the past year, we've been living a lot of difficult things just with this particular company, and it's perseverance through cash flow. you know, how and this resonates with anybody who's doing a startup, or any business in general. What about that month where you can't make payroll, and one of your employees has to pay rent, and you say, I don't have anywhere to get the money, and if you just leave it at that, you're kind of screwed, and you can't do anything. But 2 days, a day goes by, you work it out. You get money from somewhere, you pull it together. And I've seen that through every business. I've had a few businesses that just took off, When you're in construction, you don't start a company and just put up a shingle and, sit there and twiddle your thumbs. Typically you have one client that got you started, So you have immediate revenue. In software, I've been doing this for 2 years. We haven't collected a check yet. We're going to collect the check in a couple weeks, and that's going to feel really good. And it's different. My first check in my first company as an adult was, a few grand, but I got it after 2 days of work. So it's a different type of a cookie. That cookie was $3,000. That seemed pretty big at the time, but right now a check for $500 is going to be this massive cookie that I can't even pick up. Yeah, no joke. So
what did you do? Like, what are some things that helped you get through those tough times? Like, I'm sure it's mental. I'm sure it's mental.
It's avoiding the tailspin. You can sit there and say, what I'm going to do, but you pull up and you get out of that tailspin, and you just don't think about the bad shit. Completely avoid it. And
but for you, is that like getting around other people? Is that just taking a time out? Like,
sometimes it's a timeout. Sometimes you just don't think about the problem. And I found that to be fairly key. One of the things that you get better at as an adult is communicating with other people when you're going through these. When I was younger, I internalized it. I'd have like the worst crap going on, and I wouldn't tell anyone in my family, and I'd just be quiet. And now, I'm much better, working through it with the employees. Everyone understands, and it helps with the culture. So, but to answer your question, as a specific coping skill for dealing with, to persevere through, bad situations, it's this odd thing, and I guess we all have it, is that you don't know why or you don't know how, but it's just going to work out. And most of the times it does. So.
Well, and that's optimism, right? And one thing I find with most founders is they have an inordinate level of optimism that basically gets them through those tough times. Like, I've been there. I mean, and it's like you literally, it's a fine line between, like a bit crazy and being optimistic and realistic. And if you can, what I've noticed is you have to stand on that line, and sometimes you do have to be crazy. Because that's the only way to get through some of the difficult times. Just being optimistic and knowing that tomorrow someone's going to walk in, someone's going to send an email, someone's going to make a phone call, totally change it.
So it's another day. I think that if you focus on the negative too much, between the different types of founders, one of the things is that if I get overwhelmed by something and if I stay focused on it, I stop hustling. And the way you get out of this stuff is by hustling. And that's something that's resonated with us, and especially with this, we've seen a lot of negative things come up, but we've worked through it, and everything that's been negative has turned into a massive positive because we worked through that pain, and we never go back to it.